1, 2, 1, 2. I wonder if people can hear me. Hmm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ooh, babe. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 2 Can you hear me? One, one, two, three. 1 2 3 4 5 6 testing 1 2 3 4 5 6 4 5 5 5 5. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. Welcome to my first podcast. My name is Clarell Henderson of Vocal Charm School, founder of Vocal Charm School. Today, I want to discuss the state of music and what has currently happened to it, what has happened to it, what it used to be, and what it should be. Actually, what it could be. Today's music, I mean, if I'm being honest, today's music, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. Even the good music is a little bit iffy, and that's because of technology. I think technology has killed the essence of pure the pure sound of music, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad all around. I think that we need to go back to analog recording, though I don't think we will, not as a whole, but I plan to at some point. And it's the way it's going to be. uh Analog recordings back in the day were what it did was not only did it bring us warmth, you know, audibly, it gave us the true sound. Like if you sing or record an instrument or drum set or whatever you record on analog recording, it's going to be the actual pure sound. To me, a record should sound like you're literally standing in front of a band and watching them play in a small room. If your recording doesn't sound like that, at least if your live recording doesn't sound like that, or if your vocals don't sound like that, then there's something wrong with it. You know what I mean? And this is why I believe that music sucks. Another problem in today's music is the people who are distributing it are not at all interested in music at all. Not even in the least. Not even in the least. And if you notice, there's almost like a a parade of, I won't say bad artists, but a parade of artists that have no idea what they're doing. And it's not their fault. It's just the fact that there's the music business is completely void of artist development in every way. See, in the old days, the people who ran the record companies were people who actually played music or wrote music or did music in one capacity or another. It used to take like 20 people to record to record an album, and now it takes only one. And that's fine because I do music. I do music on my own, and for the most part, nobody's in the studio but me, unless I need to hire a trumpet player or a violinist or something like that. But for the most part, I do it all myself. But I do music with up to 20 people in mind. Meaning, if I play drums, I try to play drums with a drummer in mind, not so much me in mind, but a real drummer in mind. And then if I stack it with a guitar or something like that, I like even when I play guitar, I may do 3 tracks of guitars, and I'll try to stack three tracks of guitar as if it's not me playing the guitar 3 times. It's me, another individual, and a different individual playing together. You know what I mean? So that'll give you that twang that you get when multiple musicians play together. Now, of course, in a perfect world, I'd rather just have 5 or 6 musicians with me at all times, recording with me at all times. But that can be very pricey, and it could also be very temperamental. Like I do a rehearsal with these musicians, once a week, on Wednesday, once a week, and sometimes these guys will fuss about next to nothing. You know what I mean? Because a couple of them may have a difference of opinion on what should go in what part. I ain't got no time for that shit. I'm being real with you. I ain't got no time for that. So what I did is at a young age, I just learned how to play every instrument, and I just do it myself. And but I know that's what a lot of producers do, but they do only one aspect of it, meaning they'll play just the keyboard. I call it keyboard music, when you're just doing what a keyboard does as opposed to what a piano does, or what a trumpet does, or what a guitarist does, or what a drummer does. You know what I mean? It's very limiting, and it needs to stop. So that's one aspect of music that I don't like. I don't like the way music is being, quote unquote, produced. I believe is being produced at a very limited, digital, icy cold, overly bearing bottom, non-musical, meaning no good distribution of lows, mids, and highs. It's just either all lows or all highs, or just all annoyances. You know what I mean? It's just kind of crazy. So that's one aspect of music I don't like. The musical aspect of it. Another aspect of music I don't like. I don't like even when sometimes you got some artists out here that actually do have good songs and actually do have good production, and still don't know how to quite. They don't quite know how to perform their music. Meaning they may know how to sing it to a certain extent, even though a lot of it is dummied down, and you barely need to be able to sing in order to get through a song now. But they don't look like a lot of the artists does. They don't. Their vibe is not like they're having a conversation with their audience. You know what I mean? Like when singing to me is it's just an exaggerated conversation that you have with your audience. You know what I mean? It's almost like a highlight reel, in that when you're a singer, you're supposed to, like, your number one job to me as a singer is to make people happy. All right. So if your number one job in singing is to make people happy and to uplift their spirits and make them happy, make them want to party, make them want to feel sexy, or whatever it is, depending on the subject matter of your song, you're supposed to look like you're literally having a conversation with someone in rhythm and through melody. And that is absolutely what's not going on in most cases that I see with most people performing, unless it's somebody from the '90s, like Beyonce and them. She knows what she's doing. Rihanna knows what she's doing. You know what I mean? A few of these newer people know what they're doing. Some of the new, I mean, a few of the older people that are still young and know what they're doing, and most of the newer people that are still young don't know what they're doing. And I don't blame them. I blame the industry. The industry is responsible for putting out content and putting out people who are prepared to entertain. You know what I mean? Prepared to entertain. You know what I mean? When I was coming up, we were so prepared to entertain that if we fell while we were performing, we would just flip, go into a split, and come up, or we would fix it in one. Or if we couldn't fix it, by the time the end of the song was would by the time the song was done, the audience forgot about that mishap because you're still killing it. You know what I mean? So it's just sad. It's like ways to sing for your audience. You can do like how these new school people do, and they just sing and they go off the top of my head. I don't know where to go. I don't care what we do. Now I'm singing, but I'm not singing to you. So people who have artist development, they try to already. I don't know where we go, and I don't know what we do. You know what I mean? It's like I'm literally trying to talk to you through the rhythm and the melody, as opposed to just eyes, not really acknowledging your presence. I'm just off doing what I'm just off doing me. And that's only because people who do that just don't have the proper artist development. That's all. So I think that's another aspect that's wrong with music. You know what I mean? And another thing that's terribly wrong with music, sadly, is a lot of artists. Let's take it. Let's just pretend. Let's say that you're an artist that actually is an amazing talent. You can sing your ass off. You can write. You can dance, or you can play an instrument amazingly. You know, just everything. Your whole vibe about you. Your showmanship. Your appeal. Your look. Your vibe is just amazing. People who are like that, they spend their whole damn life trying to get to that point creatively, and they tend to not focus on the business side of music, the marketing side of music, and they shouldn't goddamn have to. You know what I mean? Sadly, they do have to, but they shouldn't have to, because that used to be the job of the manager and the marketing team at the record company, and the whatever, this part of this person and this promotion and that blah blah blah, and the street team and all that kind of stuff. Now you got to be the artist, the producer, the writer, the street team, the manager, the record exec, the choreographer, the videographer. I mean, that's like 8 jobs that I mentioned, and I know I'm leaving shit out. You know what I mean? Like, take me for instance. I dance, I sing, I play 4 or 5 instruments, I produce, I write, I of course I engineer because I have to do it all myself. I make I wear all these hats musically, but if you notice all of those qualifications that I just listed, none of them will get me a hit record unless I know how to market. You know what I mean? So now I done spent my whole life teaching myself how to play the drums, the guitar, the bass, the keyboards, learning how to write songs, learning how to you know, come up with melodies, learning how to do the harmonies, learning finally how to record music and all the technology, technical aspects of that. Now, after learning all of that, which took damn near all my half my life, now I got to learn how to do social media to a point where I'm actually going viral. I got to learn how to do all of this other stuff that no one ever told me about when I was a kid, that no one ever taught me. You know what I mean? Because a lot of things that we learn in life as adults, someone put the bug in our ear as a kid, and eventually you revisit it, and then you try to accomplish it. You know what I mean? Like my mother told me to, treat women like this, don't treat them like that. So when I made mistakes and I treated them like that, I remember what my mother said, and she said, and I started treating them like this. But no one told me that when I grow up, I'm going to have to basically be my own manager, marketing guru, record company, producer, musician, songwriter, and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. in order to hope to get to first base. That's crazy. That shit's just crazy. So if you notice, there's an onslaught, there's a wave of not so talented people, and I shouldn't say not so talented. What I'll say is not there's a wave of not so ready people performing and doing well as artists, and there's a lot of bad motherfuckers sitting on the sideline just watching the wave go by, like, damn, I'm better than him. Damn, I'm better than her. Damn, I'm better than that. Damn, my songs is way better than that. Like, what the? Why she got a hit record and I don't? Why does he got a hit record and I don't? That shit is crazy to me. Because they know how to do social media. Just like even the producing game has changed in the last 10 years drastically. Drastically. Like I was making G money 10, 12 years ago as a producer. Like I would literally furnish my apartment with my production money and then be making so much money. I get tired of the furniture and throw it all out and buy and re me and my girl would rebuy furniture with my production money, and I would redo my apartment. That's how much money I was getting as a producer. I could do one project and refurnish my whole apartment in New York City. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, out the blue, people started selling beats on YouTube for like $25. That shit killed the whole game for me. It killed the whole game. And then in order for me to join them, I got to do that bullshit music, that keyboard music that doesn't take any real talent to do, because the technology does the production for you. It doesn't take any real talent to do. It's just, if you know how to work if you know how to work a computer, you know how to produce. That's why I always tell, like, every girl that I've ever worked with, every female singer that I've ever worked with, I always try to get them to learn how to produce themselves. And the reason why I do that, I say female singers, because you know how it is with female singers. Female singers are always getting hit on by their producers or hit on by guys in the business. So I always tell girls, the more you know how to do for yourself, the less problems you'll have with people trying to hit on you, because you need something from them. If you know how to do it all yourself, you won't have to worry about some guy hitting on you. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. For some reason, most girls are not interested in producing. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But it creates a lot of problems in the music business. A lot of problems in the music business. And then what is this other shit about? Like about like I remember about, maybe I want to say 10, 12 years ago. I would say about 10, 12 years ago, when Jive Records was still open. Jive Records was like one of the most successful record companies of that day, meaning they had Justin Timberlake, they had R. Kelly, they had Britney Spears, like they had Usher. These are all under the umbrella of Jive Records. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Y'all tell me. The record company closed. Like at the height of their shit, they had Pink. I mean, they had everybody. I know they were selling like millions and 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 millions of records. And they closed. I thought that businesses closed when they wasn't doing well. I thought that businesses closed when they weren't doing well. Like, why did Jive Records close? And the reason why I'm lamenting, I guess, about Jive Records, because I had a friend that was an exec up there, and he used to let me bring him material and bring him artists. You know what I mean? So if that record company so the last I brought this girl up there. This girl was amazing. Her name was Anya Lee, and she, girl from Trinidad. She was a great songwriter, great singer, and a great producer. You know what I mean? She had a good look. She was very, very, very charismatic and talented. And he saw it right away. I brung her up there. I told him, I was so sure about her. I told him before I met with him. I told him when I saw him outside one day. I said, "Listen, I'm gonna bring you an artist next week." I said, "If you don't like this artist, I will never bother you again. That's how sure I was. So I brought the artist, fast forward, I brought the artist up there the next week. He loved her. And he immediately put us in the studio. Like, Jive was under Sony Records. So they had a studio up there, that was owned by Sony Music, Sony Records. And he immediately put us in the studio. He put us in the studio, and sadly, but right before we finished the project, right before we finished the project, she became pregnant, and she her and her boyfriend got married, and they went off and did whatever they was doing. But I was never able I was never able to bring anybody over there again for the simple fact that they closed right after that. And I'm still trying to figure out why. And now I kind of know why. I know why the music business had another agenda, and they basically closed the music business basically closed itself down. It used to be like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of record companies all over the world. Now it's just like, I don't know how many it is, but I know it's like maybe three major labels left, 3 to 5 major labels left. It's like crazy. Is Motown still around, or is Motown just a company that just distributes, just puts out their old catalogs? I don't even think Motown is even a viable company now. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just really crazy. So the music business, music in itself is dead, and it's only dead because it's like it'd be like somebody like me, I'm a complete creative. I only operate for the most part on one side of my brain, which is the creative side. So I'm not like the most analytical, technically sound person. So if I was to start a computer company, it would probably fail unless it was a situation where I started the company but I let others run it, because I know nothing about computers and the technology of it and how it works and how they're built and how you fix them and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's happening in the music business. The music business is literally being run by lawyers and people who have no idea. Either they have no idea or they have no care about the creation of music. They don't care. You can tell by what's coming out. And another thing another thing that's a real big complaint of mine about the music business is what they call R&B. Now it's so funny. Whenever anybody in this world thinks of a rock band, what do you think about? You think about a drummer, you think about a guitarist, you think about a bassist, and maybe another guitarist. But for the most part, a guitar player, you got to have a guitar player, you got to have a bass player, and you got to have a drummer. How old is rock and roll now? Didn't rock and roll come out in the 50s or some shit like that? It's 2024. Or is it 2000? I don't even know what year it is. Things are so bad, I can't even tell you what year it is. It's 2020 something. That's how much I care about what they talk about. And I'm going to tell you right now, whenever you think of a rock band, or whenever somebody wants to start a rock band, or whenever somebody's getting ready to see a rock band or whatever, or sign a rock band or whatever, it's still the same format: a guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. And then maybe you want to add on a couple of guitars or keyboards, maybe, if you want to. You know what I mean? But that's the core. What happened to R&B? Well, R&B used to be about a drum set, a guitar player, a bassist, a keyboardist, pianist or organist, horn section, a percussionist, all that kind of stuff. How the fuck can you do music without not one instrument being in your song? Not one instrument. This is a instrument. This is a music cool instrument. See the root word? Music. So this is called a music cool instrument. So how the hell am I going to do music without a music cool instrument in my song? Like, what the fuck? And who the hell even, like, somebody please explain to me how the fuck 808 drums are better than a drum set. Like, explain that shit to me. Oh yeah, they hit hard. Don't get me wrong. For something to go boom, cut, boom, boom. But what kind of music can I play to a when a bass drum is going boom, boom, boom? I would be forced to have to play the same chord of which the note is played. If a bass note is going boom, then I gotta play the same note. And as soon as I try to change the chord, then it's gonna clash with the kick drum. So you can't do music with 808 drums. I mean, unless each note of the 808 drums becomes a different note, like what a bassist does. And then you get into all this other shit. It's like, you just like you fix this, then you got to fix that, then you fix this, then you got to fix that. Next, it doesn't work at all. So that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. You know what I mean? And if anybody watches this and tells me I'm complaining, you goddamn real I'm complaining. It's music. Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how important music is? I want you to try to imagine your childhood without music. I want you to imagine your favorite TV show without music playing. I want you to imagine your favorite movie without music playing. You have any idea how terrible this would be? This world would be if we didn't grow up with music. Music is the most beautiful, beautiful thing in the world. You know what I mean? And now it's like the fuck. It's like limited. It's terrible. It's like anybody. If you like a lot of this, is the argument everybody tells me when I complain like this. They say it's good music out there. It's good music out there. You just gotta find it, nigga. I don't want to find music. I want music to find my ass. I want to be able to walk in the street and you see the beautiful girl that you want to meet for the first time, and somebody drives by in the car and they playing a dope song in their car as you meet this new girl, and then you'll always meet when you first met that girl with that song. That's an experience. I don't want to have to go online and try to find my experience. I want the shit to find me. Music is supposed to be, ever changing, ever going, ever playing all throughout the world. You go to the park, you see a carousel, a merry-go-round, and there's music playing. So whenever you hear that music, you associate that time when you first went and you heard that carousel. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. Even dark music. Like I remember I'm watching Jaws on HBO for the first time. You hear that music. So every time I hear that, I associate that time when I first saw Jaws. Everything music is supposed to remind you of certain wonderful times, or sometimes not so wonderful times in your life. It's the way it is. Like when you smell something in a restaurant and it reminds you of when your grandmother made something for you. It's a beautiful thing. What they're gonna take away next? Food. It's like they're gonna it's crazy. They're gonna take food away. They don't take music away. They're gonna take food away next. I mean, what they gonna take away next? After that, oxygen? It's like, what the fuck? It's music. I ain't supposed to be on here. I shouldn't even have no platform to be complaining about music. Music should be ever in abundance all over the world all the time. But it should be done by the people who are listen. If you're wondering why I'm complaining, listen to this shit. I bet you none of y'all ever realized this. Music is the only industry on the planet Earth of which you do not have to be an expert in order to enter it. Think about that shit. That's why music sucks. I remember when I was a teenager and people started hearing me play the guitar, and they were like, "Wow, man, you play the guitar good." And I thought to myself, "Play the guitar good? Them niggas in the '70s would have laughed me out the studio." I don't get it. If you say this is guitar, this shit sounds good. That means your standards is dummied down. I may have a good feel, but I'm not nowhere near where Prince was as a guitarist. You know what I mean? It's like the standards are completely dummied down. But getting back to what I just said, you do not have to be an expert in order to enter the music business. That shit is crazy to me. That shit is crazy to me. And you know what an expert is? You know, expert. They say an expert. You're an expert at something when you've spent at least 10,000 hours doing it. I want you to tell me which one of these goddamn artists out here you think spend 10,000 hours doing that shit they doing. If they did, they spend 10,000 hours blindfolded, blind and being led into a pit instead of being led into the studio or the rehearsal room. Because that shit they doing is trash. Complete, utter bullshit. Sorry. And you know what else pisses me off? Even the ones that are dope are led to do bullshit. Led to do when I that singer her. I saw her real name is Gabby. I saw her perform when she was like 14 years old. She blew me the she blew me away. She blew me away. And she's still dope, don't get me wrong, but she's for some reason, I don't know, either she's not allowed to show it or she doesn't want to show it. I'm thinking she's influenced to not show it. Like she doesn't sing nowhere near the top of her range. She sings in a range that any man should be singing in. Like nationwide is on your side. Nationwide is on your side. Like what girl? Why would a girl who's not an alto be singing, or who's not the Pointer Sisters or somebody with, or Anita Baker or Tony Braxton be singing so low? It's like it's crazy. I saw a clip of her on YouTube when she was like, I guess she must have been about 10 at the time, and she was doing singing Alicia Keys, "If I Ain't Got You." She was damn near singing it better than Alicia Keys. She was killing it. Imagine a 10-year-old girl on a grand piano singing and playing at the same time and murdering it. And it still took her till she was like 22 years old to come out. She was on the news playing "If I Ain't Got You" on a grand piano at 10 years old. You understand? You It's like these people in the business now, they're irresponsible. Just they're not like that back in the day when whoever saw Michael Jackson when he was like 10 years old, they signed his ass up right away. Michael Jackson was so dope. The Jackson 5 brothers were so dope. They got signed to a record company before they got signed to Motown. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, who the hell would look at Michael Jackson and be like, "Oh, let's wait till he grows up"? Look, you stupid. Are you stupid? That's what they must have did with Gabby. I mean, what's her name? Her, because she's been singing all her life, and she didn't make it till she was like 22 years old. You have like I used to be an assistant to a famous vocal coach. Vocal coach to the star. That's how I became a vocal coach to the stars. His name was Craig Derry. Well, his name is Craig Derry, and he's not calling up. He's still here. He's still my man too. What I was going to say, and you guys will never have any idea how many amazing artists you will never know that we trained. Like little tiny kids, adults, teenagers. They were so many amazing artists that 50 times better than anybody that's out there now, old and new, and you will never ever hear from them. I didn't see groups that sound like TLC, that look like TLC. I didn't see. It's just so many badass groups, and so many amazing performers and singers of all colors and creeds, mostly black, of course, but other nationalities too, and they were all dope. Most for the most 95% of them were over the top amazing, and you'll never hear from them ever, ever. You know what I mean? Like I was coming up in a time. I remember the late '90s. I'm coming up in a time with me and my friend. We trying to get a record deal. My man, this guy named Chris Robbins. He was like a Marvin Gaye type. You know what I mean? His vibe was straight up on a Marvin Gaye type. Good looking guy. You know what I mean? And he fought for years to try to get his music heard and all that, and get signed and all that kind of stuff, because he was a second generation singer. His father was like this famous singer from the '70s, And so in about 1999, 2000 or something like that, somewhere around that time, he had finally gotten a record deal. As soon as they signed him, they the record company he was signed to, I forget who it was, maybe Capital or something like that. But as soon as they signed him, the company disbanded the R&B department. He was an R&B singer, so if they got rid of the R&B department, what you think happened to him? He never came out. You know what I mean? And that happened to so many artists. Why would they get rid of R&B? Like somebody, please, somebody tell me that you're gonna get rid of R&B. They get rid of R&B because they wanted to get rid of R&B. I guess they wanted to get rid of us. So I don't know. So that's my thoughts. You know what I mean? In my opinion, music has gotten drastically worse. Drastically worse. You know what I mean? If you guys wonder why I got this guitar with me, man, let me tell you something. I keep this guitar with me just to keep from going insane sometimes. Sometimes I just play random chords just to calm myself down. You know what I mean? So I don't just go crazy because I can't find music, so I got to create it. And if I'm not creating, I got to play it. Just, you know what I mean? Like I got a drum set right here. I got a 88 key keyboard right here. It's like I got another guitar over here. I got, in the other house, I got violins and cellos and all. I'm like, man, I got to be around it because the business is not distributing it, so I got to be around it. You know what I mean? It's like about to be a wrap. It seems like I don't know. I'm gonna try to come out with some stuff, but I'm just me. I don't give a damn if I came out with the most beautiful album that ever existed. It's just I'm just me. I can't start a revolution by myself. I need about 10 million people like me with my kind of passion, and maybe with something that could start. I don't know, but music, yeah, music. Music needs an operation, or it's gonna flatline. if it ain't, if it hasn't already, it's getting very very bad, like very 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 bad. So I don't know. Hopefully, there's a way to revive it. You let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is Corral, Vocal Charm School, signing off. Hope to see you guys soon.